So clients from this part of Southeast Michigan had to go to either a small center that was in Howell or all the way to Lansing at the time.
How long have you been director?
I've been director since the center opened in '86. I came on board as a part-time director, and with a lot of legwork and fundraising, we were able to turn that into a full-time position, and the center's been operating on a full-time basis.
And how many other full-time staff members do you have?
Our center has 2 full-time staff, myself and my administrative assistant, Arlene Harry. Arlene's been with us for about 11 years. We have approximately 25 instructors that work for us on a part-time basis, working with students, teaching them in a small group and mostly one-on-one.
And how many students do you have?
We have approximately 40 students. That varies a bit, but roughly around 40, 45 is pretty typical for us.
Okay, could you give us a good definition of dyslexia in layman's terms?
A definition of dyslexia. Dyslexia is a neurologically based language processing difficulty. Now, really in layman's terms, it means that it's a difficulty with acquiring language skills like reading, writing, spelling, sometimes math. Dyslexia has no bearing whatsoever on intelligence. In fact, most definitions of dyslexia say that individuals affected by dyslexia are average to above average intelligence, but despite that good intelligence and despite good exposure to school, they still have had difficulty picking up skills like everyone, including themselves, thought would have happened for them. It's the most common form of reading difficulty and affects probably roughly 18 to 20% of the population.
Okay, now you are a fellow with the Academy of Orton Gillingham Practitioners and Educators. Can you define for us what that means to have status as a fellow, what it took to attain that status?
Yes, I am a fellow of the Academy of Orton Gillingham Practitioners and Educators. I've been a fellow since 1997. The Academy is a national certification body that accredits both individuals and programs for those who are working in this field of therapy. To become a fellow of the Academy requires that the Academy recognize an individual has the experience, has the educational background to train others in Orton Gillingham, which is the style of instruction, the approach to instruction that's most effective for people with dyslexia.
And what is involved with doing training as a fellow?
Training as a fellow is a job I take very seriously. Training for the Institute requires, as a first step, that an individual successfully complete 60 hours of class time, learning about the nature of dyslexia, learning about the reading brain, learning about the structure of language, and learning about the techniques that are appropriate to convey the approach to reading and spelling that makes sense to people with dyslexia. The course continues with a required supervised practicum, which is like a student teaching experience. Our participating instructors in the class must successfully complete the practicum portion of the class, as well as pass a final exam in order to be eligible to become an instructor for the Institute. Now, the initial training, the initial Orton Gillingham seminar, is really just the beginning point for our instructors. There's an entire curriculum of ongoing education that's required by us as well as the Academy. The Academy requires that individuals continue their education in understanding dyslexia and developing further skills in working with individuals that have it.
To acquire the status as fellow, how many hours of training did you have to go through?
Oh my goodness, how many hours of training? To become a fellow, I believe, gosh, It required over 200 hours of teaching experience. It required numerous hours of class time, and it required participation in national and local conferences. I've spoken at both regional and national conferences, and have been observed as a trainer as well as an instructor of dyslexic individuals myself. It usually takes in the vicinity of 10 to 15 years for a person to acquire the skills and the background to become a fellow.
Okay, part of being a center director and a fellow is the job of administering evaluations for dyslexia.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about the evaluation process?
The evaluation process is crucial as far as we're concerned in doing an effective job with people that have dyslexia. Evaluation services that we offer include a range of services, from a language evaluation performed by an individual with master's level background who's also an experienced instructor of dyslexics. An evaluation of that nature can indicate whether or not the person being tested exhibits characteristics of dyslexia. And our evaluations can go all the way to a full neuropsychological evaluation performed by a licensed psychologist with a specialty in neuropsychology. The value of an evaluation is really tremendous. Its ability to identify specifically the strengths as well as the needs of the person with dyslexia are crucial for developing an appropriate instructional plan for that person. Likewise, a formal diagnosis of dyslexia, as is available through a neuropsychological evaluation by a licensed psychologist, is often necessary to help document that the person has a disability that may require either accommodations at schools, extended time on tests, for example, documentation in certain work settings.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Orton-Gillingham approach, why we call it an approach and not a method, and what the value of that is as far as being, for us, the gold standard for teaching somebody with dyslexia?
Certainly. Orton-Gillingham is considered the gold standard of teaching folks with dyslexia because, as you said, Al, it is an approach, not a method. Orton-Gillingham approach is actually applicable to teaching any matter to an individual with dyslexia. It is characterized by certain properties. Orton-Gillingham approach indicates that the approach is structured, it is sequential, in that teaching material is presented starting with the simple and moving to the complex. It starts by going from the concrete, moving to the abstract. It is cumulative, meaning that it's a step-by-step process. An individual learns a bit, for example, about how English is structured so that they can use that piece of information to read and spell. The next unit is built upon what they already know, and so in a step-by-step building process, the mystery is removed about how English is built. Individuals learn the structures, they learn the patterns of English, so they no longer have to guess at words. They're able to make informed decisions about how to read and spell those words. It's considered an approach also because when it's done well, Orton-Gillingham is both diagnostic and prescriptive, meaning that the work that the instructor is carrying on with the student in front of him or her is based on what that individual student is experiencing and what that student needs. Rather than a method kind of an approach, or a method style of teaching, where if today's Thursday and we're on lesson 17, that must be page 36. Individuals with dyslexia have varying strengths and weaknesses. So the instructors who are competently trained can react to what the student's doing well, what the student's struggling with, so they can adapt the lesson at any given point to meet the needs of the student.
Good. What sort of programs do you offer here at Detroit Metro Center?
We offer a range of services here. We certainly offer comprehensive evaluation services at the center. The majority of our teaching is direct one-on-one instruction with both children and adults. I think our current youngest student is about 5.5, and I believe our oldest student at the moment is in his mid-60s. We do have some small group work. We are working on our Pathways program, which is the preventative program for young students who are just developing reading and writing skills. We offer public awareness presentations. We offer public awareness presentations at local libraries. We do school staffings. We offer the opportunity for members of the community to come visit our office and learn more about dyslexia at our open houses. We have a parent support group which meets alternate months during the school year. We've also, and I'm delighted about this, we've started what's called the Detroit Metro Friends group, which is for our students, so that our students have a chance to interact with each other, learn from each other about their own experiences while being mentored by older students that have been down the road already. And while the Friends group is meeting, their parents have a chance to meet as well. So we have a parent group that is tied to the children's group, and it's been just wonderful. It's a new program, and it's been very, very well received.
Is there anything else you would like to add about your experiences or anything about the center?
Well, I suppose there are a lot of things I could say. I have told our founder, Kay Howell, on many occasions that I thank her almost every day for being able to come to work for over 26 years and be happy to come to work every day. There is something remarkably gratifying about helping individuals achieve potential when they've had doubts about their own abilities, and that is something that does not grow old. We have a marvelous staff here. We have a dedicated group of instructors. We have a wonderful state organization to be part of, and this has been just a fantastic experience. Our office has had several incarnations over the years. Our first office was on Orchard Lake Road, which is a very, very busy metropolitan roadway about 20 miles from here. We were there for 20 years until we were able to purchase this building here in downtown Berkeley, which has met our needs beautifully. We are very welcomed in the community. We feel very, very fortunate to be here. It's been a fantastic experience all around, and we look forward to continuing to serve the community for many, many years to come.
And backing up a little bit to your work as a trainer, your work as a trainer has not been limited to just Michigan.
Oh, no, no. Michigan Dyslexia Institute has been recognized nationally as a unique organization and one whose training programs are valued. Our trainings have been requested in out-of-state areas, Florida, Georgia, Missouri, California. We will train and are happy to train individuals who are looking for the ability to give quality services to folks in their areas.
And what are some of the other states you have trained in?
Oh, personally, I've trained in Florida and California. That's where I tend to gravitate. Sadly, I tend to gravitate to Florida in the summertime. I don't know how that works.